So Annie, it's been 40 years, Title IX, and I know we've talked about it before, but what does this mean to you, a 40-year anniversary of Title IX, and it's done so much for you, and you've done so much for others to pave the way?
Well, there's no question it's great. You'd like to see that the 10th year, 20th year, and 30th year were recognized, but the fact that it's 40 years and there is this much attention for it shows you how far we've come, and really the credibility that the media is giving it, so it's a real positive.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And going forward, what do you think can be done to even make it even better than it has been?
Well, you know what's so great, Dave, is the fact that you've got a lot of young girls that have the opportunity to get a scholarship and get an education through athletics, and it's so important that we have parents really supporting their daughters. The fathers are coaching their daughters, and you've got husbands with their wives, and for the men to get involved and know that it's okay for their little girls to compete. But there's so much more to do, because just recently, we've heard that the guys don't want to lose on the track to Danica Patrick. A few months ago in Phoenix, that there was a baseball team that had a girl on it, and they got to the finals. The other team forfeited because they didn't want to lose to a girl. So things are still happening. And Bernice Sandler, who's the godmother of Title IX, has said that sometimes you got to be a little uncomfortable to talk about the issues, because that's the only way change is going to come about. So there's still things to be done, and there's still some negativity about women's sports, but it's such a great thing to see both little girls and little boys be active.
And what are some of the other qualities? Originally it wasn't really about athletics necessarily, but some of the residual benefits from being in athletics are like leadership and teamwork. Talk a little bit about that.
Title IX was an education bill, and basically it's saying you cannot deny, based upon sex, federal funds to either girls or boys. And so girls deserve the same opportunity that the boys do. And what was happening, how this bill even got started, 20 years before 1972 when it was signed, there were women that were applying to colleges were getting denied because they said women need not apply because colleges only accepted men. Also, there are some states that it was against the law to compete in sports for young girls and women. And so those things have changed because of Title IX. And those women that were denied access, because it's a gender equity, it's a civil rights, to be able to have an education. That's what the bill was based on, was an education. Also for women to get paid the same amount of money that men do. But we know today that women only get 77 cents to the dollar that men do. Minority women 10 cents less. So there's still a lot of work to be done. But the calling card for women in sports has become Title IX, even though it was an education bill. And that's what's been so important, is the leadership skills, self-confidence, teamwork, how to fail, how to succeed. And men have always done that through their sports and carried it to business. And that's what you're seeing with young women, too.
So one last question. In the next 20, 30 years, what does it look like at the end of the rainbow there?
I don't think there's an end. And that's what's so good, because it's always going to be around. And I think what's so positive is that there's a lot of young girls today don't know that there never was a fact that they couldn't get a scholarship, that they couldn't compete. They don't know those days. So in a way that's a plus. But they'll come up against different issues, and they'll be there for the fight.